I don't see the record, but okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Zoom Crossline Culture Call. I'm Shannon Shine, Pro 6 here in the Denver area, and joining me is my fabulous co-moderator, Patty Goldsby, also Pro 6 here in the Denver area. And I'm just going to start us with the mission. I know we have some new people joining the call, and just to catch everybody up, we are so excited every week to bring you a new guest speaker to share with you their story. And the mission of our call is to share the LifeVantage culture and vision of like-minded people who join the LifeVantage family and are sharing with you their stories so that you can learn, so that you can be inspired, so that you can grow your belief and your vision in just what you have in your lap. We want you to see the success that you want to see in LifeVantage. And when these speakers are sharing their stories, what do we hear? What do we always learn from everyone? Eric Worre and everybody else. It's the story that's so important. So sharing the culture of this call, I want to share two quotes with you on culture. The first is from Simon Sinek, and a culture is strong when people work with each other for each other, and a culture is weak when people work against each other for themselves. And what do we absolutely have in LifeVantage? We have that culture of working with each other. And the second quote is one that Patty shared with me months and months ago. Culture eats strategy for breakfast every time. So thanks everybody for joining us this week. And I am so excited to introduce our speaker today. She is a dear friend that I have only met because of LifeVantage, would not know her because of LifeVantage, and has so enriched my life, and I have learned so much from her. She is a rock star in this business. She and her husband Tim do this business together. It's Pro 6 Kathy Heiser, usually from Salida, Colorado, but part of what she's going to share with you is where she is and what's going on. So Kathy, I'm excited for you to share with all of us today. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm honored to be asked to share on this call and humbled to speak to you guys, because a lot of you on these calls are people that I have turned to for advice and mentorship. And it's just such a pleasure to be able to possibly give back. I know that all of you are giving your time to listen this morning, and just I hope that there's something that I can give you that you can take away that might inspire you in some way. So to tell our story, we're Tim and Kathy Heiser from Salida, Colorado, currently living in Wickenburg, Arizona for the winter, and it has been such an experience to be here. And we'll get to why we're here in just a minute. But how we got involved in LifeVantage was in 2012. My husband was very ill. He had what I call not a disease, but a label, no cause, no cure. We don't know what's wrong with you. There's nothing we can do to help you. And a friend at church came up, or not even a friend. She only moved to the community recently and had just heard that Tim was very ill and said, hey, I've got this video. I got this video you need to watch, and I think it could really help Tim. And honestly, she had to follow up at least 10 times, I'd say, because I wouldn't watch the video. I was so convinced that there was no help for us that I couldn't imagine that there would be a little yellow pill that would change our lives. But it did. But when she showed me the video finally at her home, I said, yes, I'm in, I want this. And we started filling out the paperwork, and I said, and what do I do with this distributor package? And she looked at me and said, you want to be a distributor? And I said, absolutely. I said, I know we need the product, but although you know that Tim's sick, you don't know that I am frustrated and fearful or feeling hopeless about finances, because my husband may never ever work again. And this is our life, and he's going to need continual care, and I'm not going to be able to work because someone has to be with him. And so that burden was really, really strong. And so that was my solution. I looked at that and thought, oh my goodness, I can do this. I can stay home. I can make residual income. It's at the beginning. I had missed the Apple opportunity years before, when I had been encouraged to invest in Apple in the beginning because I was passionate and I didn't. So I looked at this and said, this is my Apple opportunity. This is the second time a once in a lifetime opportunity comes around, and I'm going to jump in and I'm going to take advantage of it. So Tim did have amazing results with Protandim. It took me a little while to get him on the product because I didn't show him the video. He tells everyone now, my goodness, if she'd showed me the video on day one, I would have taken the product, but it took her 30 days to get me to take the product. So we've had a great time with LifeVantage. We have met amazing people, and it's been great. We're Pro 6, and when I say we've met great people, they've come into our lives, and you end up spending most of your time with these people in LifeVantage because we're like-minded. And in doing so, it kind of makes you isolate yourself a little bit from new people in your life. So what we found is that we had somewhat isolated ourselves. And so our business was a little bit stagnant. We weren't really growing. Just thoroughly enjoying and maybe taking for granted what we had, taking for granted the amazing product, the amazing products, the amazing company, the amazing people. And you just get into that routine of doing what you do every single day, listen to a call, maybe read some self-help, but not really growing your business because you're not bringing new people into your life. Well, Tim had a torn rotator cuff this year or last year, and we had scheduled surgery for November. He had torn it the prior year in December, but he knew he didn't have time for the recovery process until this last November. So we scheduled to come to Arizona because we thought the best place to recover and to keep him from being tempted to use his arm and possibly re-injure it was to go somewhere where there was nothing for us to do. Well, we thought about it intentionally and made a choice that what we could do while we're sitting in Arizona was we could talk about LifeVantage and share it with people that we've never, ever met before. So Tim actually, I'm going to say it's because of Protandim, but for whatever reason, they decided he didn't need surgery after he had waited for 10 months to have surgery, that he didn't need surgery. He was doing well. So we'd already booked the Arizona trip. So here we are, and now there's nothing, we're not recovering from anything, and we're social. So, we live in the country in Colorado, so we hadn't had that opportunity just to be around an abundance of people. But the first week we were here, a couple came and introduced themselves to us and invited us to dinner, and obviously LifeVantage had to come up, right? That's who we are. We're LifeVantage distributors, and it's part of our life. And we told them, Tim told them a little bit about the company, or I'm not sure exactly what he left them with, but the next morning I had a knock at the trailer, and it was our new friend, and he said, hey, I know you mentioned the video. He said, could you give me that link? My wife would really like to watch it. And I said, you know what? Because I've been trained by you guys on this call. I said, I'd love for you to watch the video, but I think it would be best if I came over and showed it to you personally so that I can answer your questions. So sure enough, an hour or so later, I show up at their house or their trailer, and actually they live in a horse trailer which has living quarters. So it's quite interesting. It's amazing what facilities they have here. And we showed them the video. And after they watched the video, they were very interested in the science. And I said, well, guys, I'm obligated to tell you, I said, this is a great business opportunity as well. And I would love to share that with you when you're open. So sure enough, the next day they come back over and they've got a notebook, and they said, we've got some questions for you. So they went through their list of questions, and all was good. The next day they came back over and said, we want to be distributors. And actually it was the husband, and the wife said, actually, I don't want to do any business. I've just retired. I just got rid of a job. I don't want to do anything else. I'll do this if he wants to do this, but I'm really not interested in business. Well, within a week now, we have a conversation at least once a day, and she is all in for the business. They've already been to events in Phoenix with us. They're coming to convention and booked their tickets and booked their hotel room. And they immediately started duplicating the same thing. They learned right away not to let someone watch the video by themselves. So they connected us with numerous people. They actually went they enrolled right before Thanksgiving. We left for a week, came back, and in December, they were Pro 1s. The next month, they were Pro 2s. They were almost hit Pro 3. We have a couple of other distributors that are now Pro 2s. And we meet every Wednesday and every Saturday. And we do Zoom. And we have a conference, and we talk about the events of the week. We talk about not necessarily role playing, but what was said and how to respond. And we have people on the line. And so we've been able to duplicate just through being, not it's knee to knee with them, but the people that are growing are people I've never met before. And that's really opened Tim and I's eyes again. Like I said, because we've spent so much time with our LifeVantage family, we forget the enormity of what we have. And then when you see it through someone that's new in the business, through their eyes, and see their excitement and see their wow, and then it just rebuilds not our belief, but our understanding of how special this is. So we've been able to share with, oh gosh, I think they even added, one of the gals added 5 customers before the 5th of the month, or this month. And I think she's up to 10 now. And a lot of these customers are talking about coming in as distributors later. Tim and I have met a lot of different people through this, because now our eyes are open again. And I've joined the gym, I've joined different events, and realized that we had secluded ourselves, and that's why our business was stagnant. And it's about what we have to give, and just being aware of the people that are around us and how that can just grow. And it's been so much fun now, and it's fun because it's not work, and it's truly just the giving process and showing people what we have, and hoping that they will have some benefit from it. So that's my current story of where we are and what we're doing, and we will be back in Colorado in April. But from listening to some of the, you listen to, I don't care who, they're all the same. They all tell you the same thing. You got to make a change. And I remember having this conversation with Shannon some time ago about, I think it was Eric Worre that particular day had said, you've got to change, or maybe Darren Daly, you've got to change one thing that will catapult other changes. And the thing for me was that it didn't matter what time I got up in the morning, I always went to bed at the same time at night. So why not get up a little bit earlier? And so getting up a little bit earlier has given me the energy, the time to meet more people. It just seemed to have moved things along. So anyway, that's what's going on with us right now. And Shannon, Patty, thank you for having me on, and ask any questions that you'd like, and I'd like to expand on any area.
Awesome. Patty, do you want to go?
I do. So Kathy, I know I did not know you before this business, and I love what you said is we kind of get comfortable around our initial group. And when you see the new person come in and their eyes light up and you realize, oh my gosh, I remember having that feeling. And it gives you hope again, honestly, because I think this is a business it's a people business, but it's a people business. So you're up and down, and I see the light in your eye. I absolutely love it. But so let's talk a little bit about, you said you were secluded. Now you're in an area. Well, what if somebody's on today and they're sitting there thinking, well, I can't just go get an RV and go out down to Arizona. I can't do that. What would you recommend them doing?
Well, like I said, it was the change. I think, it was the change. It was the change in what am I willing to do now? I mean, we made the commitment to come here with the purpose of Pro Tandem or LifeVantage. But I think what we've learned from that is when I get home, I'm joining the gym. When I get home, I'm going to join Kiwanis Club. When I get home, I'm going to do all these different things because my life, Vantage Life, has caused me to be secluded. But just Tim and I's 20 some years and where we live in the country with no neighbors, and we have developed into that lifestyle. And this has just been a note for me that you have to open yourself up. So I don't care where you are. You've got to open yourself up and look and see if you are secluding yourself. I think that's been the biggest thing, is just noticing, Tim and I will even talk and say, oh my gosh, we're rebuilding, just become hermits. And it wasn't intentional. It wasn't visual for us. We didn't realize it, that we were just stuck in a rut, right? My kids are out of the house, so there's no reason to go to town for any events. Go to the grocery store. Wow, that's our big event of our entire life in Colorado, of being around people. So we're going to expand on that. And I think that's what we have to do. Change something. Change the coffee shop you go to. Change the time you go to the coffee shop. Change, just sum up something in your routine. I've even found that since I've been going to the gym here, there's a group of people that go before 6 a.m. and there's a group of people that go after 6 a.m. So I'm trying to hit them both so that I can build some relationship with those people. So it's being just cognitive of what's happening around you. And it was very, it was a planned, intentional thing for us to do, to start looking around and taking notes and then discussing it with each other of what we're noticing, how we're changing. So it's personal change, really. And because people are around us everywhere. And, they say it's your energy, what you put out. I cannot go anywhere now without people stopping and telling me stuff. And Tim he just cracks up, because, we're about their experience in life, And it's because we're starting to put out that energy again that we didn't for a long time. So personal
Awesome.
growth.
So Kathy, can I jump in, Patty? You good?
Yes.
Kathy, on that note, just relay really quickly. I have another question, but relay really quickly. You said putting out energy. Just tell everybody about the woman at the grocery store. You guys were talking about some sort of vegetable or something, right?
This was back in Colorado, because we've been going back and forth. So I was back for Christmas, and I just walk up and I'm looking for zucchini, and it's winter. So I don't, I look over and I asked this lady, there's this other fruit that kind of looks like zucchini. I said, do you know what this is? And she looks at it and she explains to me that it's something in the zucchini family and blah, blah, blah. And so we get to talking just briefly, and she's talking about how her husband and her love to eat fresh vegetables. And I said, well, you look really good, so it must be working for you. And she goes, oh, thank you. And she goes on a little bit more. And then she starts talking about her mom. And I said, you know what? I said, I normally don't offer this to complete strangers. I said, because we hadn't even got to the friendship level, but we were just exchanging information. I said, if I sent you a video, a clip on something that really could help you kind of along the lines of what you're talking about, would you take a look at it? And she said, sure. I said, well, all I need is your contact information. So she writes in her contact information. She gives it to me. And we continued talking. She goes, well, she said, as a matter of fact, she said, my son is a chiropractor in, and I don't remember what state now, and he's moving his practice to holistic, and he would really be interested in this. And I said, well, that's great. So I sent her the information. She comes back with something about she said, I'm researching it, and these are the things I found. And one of them was something that wasn't very positive. And she said, I'd also love to pass it along to my son's father-in-law, who is head of cancer research for the National Institute of Health. And I'm like, surprisingly enough, we use PubMed.gov and Google Scholar to do our research. Please continue your research anyway. So we've been going back and forth. I missed her on the last trip back. She's emailed me. We're going to get together as soon as I'm back in Colorado and go to coffee and discuss what she's found. But just it was just, do you know what this fruit is? But because our energy level's different, people are willing to engage and share, and it's been awesome. Because what I'm figuring out is there are a lot of awesome people in this world, and they're just waiting for somebody to meet them. And I'm just learning so much from all the different people that I'm meeting. So it's been great.
I love that. You never know where your next new friend.
Okay, did you freeze?
Oh, I think you did.
Exactly.
You never know where your next new friend is. Okay, so talk a little bit about your consistent training that you have going on with these new people and their growing group. You were talking about the Zooms yesterday when you and I were talking.
We do at least 2 Zooms a week. As a result of that, they all signed up with Platinum Packs, so they already had their tickets to Global, but they booked their hotel rooms, they booked their flights, they understand the importance of the training and interaction with the different life and we have going on. I mean, you know, when you set them up right in the beginning, it just seems like that's their understanding of how the business works. And we never said this is an easy way to make money or this is an easy way, you know, to get rich quick. We said it's a 3 to 5 year plan. This is what it's going to require. We need to get together and have these sessions and talk through how to do the business and share information. And you know, this is something that Shannon and I had talked about before, is that we give them a little bit of, you know, we give them homework per se. Instead of dumping everything on them at once, we're giving them, you know, each time we talk. That's why we're talking twice a week, is now let's try this. Now here's another piece of information for you. Now let's move forward on this. And they're just bringing people in. We've even stopped in New Mexico and met with someone for them and that enrolled as a customer, and also enrolled a customer when we went back through Raton on our way back. So they're hungry. They're hungry for it, and they understand that there's work involved, and they're happy to do the work with us.
Well, I love the intentional, methodical way that you guys are training these people, because we don't want to dump all over them and cause paralysis, right?
Right.
So that's something I wanted you to throw out there. Patty, did you have a question?
So Kathy, I know you mentioned the duplication part, and you said you took it over, you took the video to them, and now they're doing the same thing. In this time of people, social media, everybody out and about, I know sometimes they're afraid to get in front of somebody face to face. It seems easier to just send the link online and not meet with them. And sometimes it's not physically possible to do that. But that face-to-face interaction, would you say that's given them the tool that is helping them duplicate a little bit faster than what you've seen before?
I think so, because one of the distributors, I've never met them, right? Only on Zoom. They're in California. One of them's story the other night was that she, at 7:30 in the morning, walked over to her neighbor's house, knocked on the door, and shared the information with them that she had something that she thought would be very helpful, they would be interested in, and I don't know what she gave, and she said, if I send you a link, will you watch it tonight? And the gentleman said to her, you took the time to walk over, you took the time to come see me face to face, we will come see you face to face and watch this together. So yeah, it's working.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Kathy, I love it. I love seeing the smile on your face. I know you and Tim have gone through some ups and downs with his health, and I'm glad that you're able to do this and bless so many lives, because that's what you're doing. And that was your mission, and you said my purpose, and look what's happening. And it's just coming out all around you. I can see it. Shannon, I'll toss it back over to you.
Okay. And Kathy, I just want to throw this out there because I know more about your story. You guys, you know, when Kathy was mentioning how sick or everything that Tim was dealing with, I know that when Tim was seeing results and getting better. Not only did Tim get his life back, but Kathy and her boys got their lives back. So, you know, just, I always think of that, Kathy, and I always think that so many people, you know, it's an encouragement again to just continue to reach out to people and share with people, because when you guys learned about it, your whole family's lives improved. So I just want to throw that out there. You mentioned Eric Worre and Darren Daly. Do you have a book that you recommend everybody, or some way to, you know, that is your favorite for continuing to feed your head?
I wish I had a favorite. In fact, on my nightstand, I have like 6 books, and I don't consistently read any one. I pick one up one night and one up the next night. I just have found that they all say the same thing. And maybe they're saying to me what I need that day, but you know, like the change thing. I read it in one book, I read it in another book, I read it in another book. You know, they all understand what it takes. And it's all a mind shift, I think. And it's, you know, there's all sorts of actions that we can do, but until you feel it in your heart and your mind and your soul that it's something that you want to change about you, you know, I love them all. I think that you could pick any one person to follow, and you're going to get the same information. It's just the one that you relate to. And it's just taken me reading 6 books at one time to figure that out, maybe. But yeah, I don't have any one particular right now. I'm reading with, who am I reading with? Marcy Nettles, What You Say to Yourself. I forget the exact title. So we're going through that book, and I just think it's important to continually read. And there was years that I didn't read because I thought I was too busy doing other things, and now that I'm back reading again because of LifeVantage and all the wonderful encouraging people that encourage us to read, then Tim and I both are actively reading again, and it's awesome.
And maybe the next time you pick up those 6 books, you'll get a totally different message from all of them, right? It's just that message that you need to hear at that time.
Absolutely, because we've read them before and we reread them. And that's the other thing about this new group that we've started. Holly's already read 4 books of, you know, What You Say to Yourself, Carrie Dickey's book, Business of the 21st Century, GoPro, and, you know, they're looking for another book. So it's educating yourself and being willing to take responsibility for that. And just, you know, keeping that open mind. I think the biggest thing when I look back at our lives before LifeVantage, we were closed, and now our minds are being broadened and opened and visual to what's going on around us. And, you know, life is really good, but you got to open your eyes to see it.
Absolutely. I love it. I agree with you 100%. And all the books, I love what you said that you have 6 on your nightstand. That makes me feel not so abnormal, because I always have multiple books on the nightstand.
Which is crazy, because you go, oh gosh, I was going to finish that other book. Oh, but this one's sitting here, and this one, you know, and I kind of think that's a directive that what you pick up that night is intentional. You just don't know it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so happy for you guys. I'm so glad you got on the call today. I know you and Shannon work closely together, and Steve you're going to get to see Steve this weekend. So it's going to be a big family reunion. And that's what this is about, is truly bringing so many people together. And now you've just touched so many other people's lives. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see you again and give you a big ol' hug. So Shannon, I'll let you close us out. Thank you, Kathy, so much.
You're welcome. And we will see everyone in Salt Lake City, if not before.
So true. And Kathy, and you guys, I just love, Kathy, how you followed the system in training these new people. So that's my encouragement to everybody to listen again and hear how she has absolutely embraced the system with these new people. So same time next week, we will have another guest speaker next week. And make sure you tune in early so you can get a spot. Kathy, thank you so much for sharing with us, and enjoy.
Yes. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.